This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I've obviously covered Ariana Grande many times on this channel. She has another new music video out, which actually does a pretty decent job of hiding the symbols, but still putting them right in front of our faces. Most of the time, for those of you who listen to this channel regularly, we see how obvious it is, right? And we say, how can people not see this stuff? We have people dancing inside of pyramids. We have everybody taking blood baths. All of the basic symbols and signs that should make others out there aware of the repetition that's being done on them, that these people are revealing themselves, that prophecy is becoming true. In this video, she actually does a pretty good job at hiding it. It makes you wonder, maybe they're more aware of how many people are waking up to the signs and the symbols and the repetition, and it's actually causing a lot of people to wake up in general. But nonetheless, Ariana Grande is at it again with another music video. And right off the bat, I'm going to show you all the signs and symbols, the mind control that they're using where, you know, everybody's talking about how amazing Ariana Grande is, how she influences them. There's even a girl who says she once heard Ariana Grande said something, you know, if you punch yourself in the face or if you get hit in the face, that this or that could happen to you. So the girl punches herself in the face, she says.
Ariana says, honest to God, knock me out. So I decided to punch myself in the face. It was awesome.
Which is just more mind control, and you can obviously see that this is geared towards teens, right? Because I'm pretty sure Ariana Grande is not in high school anymore, but her videos are all focused around kids in high school. And that's what they do. These celebrities focus on that group, that age group, and then as they get older and the next group moves in, another new musician comes out, Ariana Grande will still be around, like Katy Perry and, you know, Miley Cyrus and these other diseases that are out there, and she'll start influencing them because these people, these celebrities are the influencers, and they're influencing people into living not just a satanic lifestyle, into worshiping Lucifer without realizing it. And they're using signs, symbols, and basic mind control methods, which are, if you know, a lot of people think with mind control that it's some type of, wow, you know, you'd have to be some type of scientist to figure it out. It's actually easier than you think. You know, you could think about how animals act in the wild, right? Once you start realizing, oh, well, if I do this or that, this will get the lion's attention. If I don't do this or that, it won't get his attention. This is what it eats. This is what its daily routine is, right? That's what they've done with human beings. They figured all that stuff out. And they use repetition to constantly beat this into our heads. Thus, the school system we go through, we're taught nothing but lies year after year after year. Nobody questions it because they're told, hey, if you drop out of school or something like that, you'll never get a job. You're a bum. You're this, you're that. Right? They created all that stuff because they want to make sure everybody is indoctrinated with a belief system in lies over and over again. That way, when they hit 20, they believe in a world that doesn't exist. And then the stuff that I'm talking about here, they've already been trained to think that this is ridiculous, to roll their eyes and to deem it a conspiracy theory. So again, if you're here because you've stumbled upon it or was recommended to you because of Ariana Grande, consider it divine intervention. Take your pride out of it. I'll show you the signs and the symbols, and away we go. So you start here with this girl. Now, I don't know what her name is, but I know that she's like a big YouTuber because she's always in the YouTube recommended. You want to talk about cringeworthy? This girl's videos are some of the cringeworthiest, and I say cringeworthy, not like, I haven't seen a lot. I've just seen a couple in the trending section over the last couple of years, but I mean cringy like when people try to be funny and they're not, and you just want to hide because it's just so embarrassing. Yeah, that's what this girl is. But she's standing in school. She says something along the lines of she heard it was cool to get pregnant or something like that because Ariana Grande said so. But let's take a look what's in her hand. Oh, what do we got here? Well, you can see plain as day the Baphomet pentagram, the upside down pentagram inside of two ritual circles. Right? Two ritual circles and the Baphomet pentagram. A sleeping zombie would say that is a star. You can even see that it's almost drawn out to show the Baphomet on it. And what else do we see next to it? We see an eyeball, an all-seeing eye right on her book cover. I guess that's because everybody just wants to be an optometrist. Maybe she's in high school in this scene training to be an eye doctor. She just loves the look of eyes. She stares into people's eyes all the time. She just loves eyeballs, so she drew it on her book. No. These are basic symbols that you'll see all the time. The pyramid and the eye on the back of the dollar bill. Obvious, probably the most obvious thing that should help wake people up, but they don't realize it. You know, the Federal Reserve's control over all of our lives, the people who are behind it. Nonetheless, the all-seeing eye, which represents Lucifer, along with the Baphomet pentagram. And you also get other symbols that have exposed the yin-yang, which is another duality, black and white, Masonic, satanic Luciferian symbol. And you'll see the crescent moon and the stars, which also go hand in hand with the Baphomet, and all the imagery drawn of Baphomet. You always see the crescent moon and the star next to him. So that's how the video starts right off the bat. And then subliminally throughout the video, you'll see your basic things that they slip in, right? Always slipping in the butterfly. That's because Ariana Grande is under MK Ultra mind control. She is a servant and a sex slave to these elites, and she does their bidding. That's what all these people do. They're rewarded with money, unlimited amounts of money and fame and fortune until these people decide that they've gotten enough, and they either put them down, sacrifice them, or put them out to put them out to pasture. Okay, but you can see the monarch butterfly on her neck. I recently re-uploaded my video on the monarch butterfly, and if you watch that video, you'll say to yourself, wow, this really is repetition. It's like every musician, female, pretty much wearing butterflies or having butterflies in their magazine. I mean, I find it hard to believe that these people have butterfly farms. That they have caterpillars. They grow and breed caterpillars at their house. They just seem to love these signs and symbols. You can also see the butterfly on her wall in her bedroom. Okay? And you also see other MK Ultra imagery in the video, which is usually always there. The cougar, the leopard print. Okay? You'll always see the female music. Actually, you'll see the males too. This is also representative of being under MK Ultra mind control programming. So you see that. They're not hiding it, folks. Even when they do it like that, they don't expect people to look. But, for those of us with eyes to see and ears to hear, we look for these things, so they can't hide it. Then you get one that's pretty interesting. You get her pulling up. She's like, looking in inside of a, what do you call it, dollhouse, right? And she's looking in the dolls, and then suddenly, magic comes out of the dollhouse, right? What a surprise. We see more magic. We don't see magic. What's that? I don't know. It's only in everything, but it's not real. So we see magic come out of it, and she's driving a nice car to school. I don't know if it's a Porsche, I can't tell. And you see the license plate, 7 rings. Okay, so you look it up. I mean, I already know what the 7 rings references, right? But if you actually look up Ariana Grande 7 rings, there's a bunch of articles out by these low-life, awful blogs and, websites that worship these false idols. And they're saying, what does it mean, the 7 rings? Does it mean she's got a new album coming out? Does it mean it's a new song? Anybody with common sense, when they hear the term 7 rings, thinks of Saturn, right? For the most part. Even people who don't believe in any of this stuff, when they hear 7 rings, they'll think of Saturn, right? Because we've been indoctrinated and programmed that way through learning all the BS about the solar system and the planets and all that stuff. Saturn represents Satan. Saturn worship is Satan worship, okay? You can look as far into it as you want. You'll always find in studying Luciferianism and Satanism the worship of Saturn. And Saturnalia and all this other stuff. That's what that's referencing, the 7 rings. And that's how clever they're trying to get, but putting the symbolism in the video. So Saturn worship. No surprise, right? I mean, anyone out there shocked? And of course, they'll mix in their other worship to their other, celebrities. You get Kris Jenner. Is that her name, Kris Jenner? Kris Kardashian, the mom from the Kardashians, who, is a high-ranking Armenian witch. Okay, if you're not aware of that, it's pretty obvious. You can research it yourself. I've covered it many times over. She's in the video. Of course, you get your basic stereotype characters, because remember, they always will plug these characters into videos. You get the homosexual high school kid, and now we get the transgender characters. How many times recently have I been talking about it? Telling people out there, listen, you're going to see more and more transgender characters in music videos and TV shows, because that's how they normalize it. That's exactly how they normalize homosexuality, into everyone accepting it, by putting the characters in the shows to normalize it. Okay, because they don't want anyone else questioning it. And this is nothing against anyone who is homosexual or transgender, because I pray for those people, because I understand what's going on through the control and all that stuff, but it's nothing of hate speech against anybody that's going through that. Okay, it's just the obvious. I'm talking about the control and the imagery and the things that they show, and they use the repetition on it. And that's something they always do. They always place these characters, just like they always place these symbols in music videos and television shows. Okay, and they're not hiding it anymore. I mean, it's pretty clear at this point You know, you could go through any one of them, right? You'd see this video and you'd say, oh, it's not this like over the top, you know, nobody's taking a bloodbath. Nobody's doing, you know, somersaults through pentagrams and pyramids, but they're all there and they're always there, right? And that's why I'm always showing everyone, to show you the repetition and the control. So this is Ariana Grande's new song. I think it's Thank You Next, which is just more mind control. Talking about, you know, oh, she broke up with somebody. Thank you. Who's next, right? You think it's a coincidence that divorce rates and all that stuff are so high compared to what they used to be. And all statistics are kind of overinflated garbage anyway. But everybody knows that, you know, lots of people are divorced and lots of people break up pretty easily with like one argument, right? Because people in their head, they've created this like, oh, I'll move on to the next. Oh, divorce rate's so high. Oh, you could do better, right? So you have Ariana Grande just going, thank you, who's next? And all these girls talk about how they worship her, right? So we see the all-seeing eye. We see the Baphomet pentagram, you know, from this unfunny girl who's in the video. We see the monarch butterflies. We see the leopard print. In addition to some of the the characters that stereotypical characters that they always put in there to normalize these things that they want to get across, normalize. And of course, like I said, the 7 rings license plate, which automatically, when people hear 7 rings, they think of Saturn. Whether they want to, you know, they might say, no, I was thinking that she had 7 wedding rings or she won 7 Super Bowl rings. No, she's referencing Saturn. All of them worship Lucifer. That is a fact. That's how it goes. And this is just another example of Ariana Grande. I mean, I have like 10 videos of the symbols, same things that she does. So go check them out if you haven't seen them. More of these puppets just trying to mind control the masses. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.